the game is not very fun, and I don't want to take any points away from IBM, Try Science, or the New York Hall of Science. They did a very good job on their game. We don't want to take anything away from them for that. But serious games still need to be fun. I think, and we can change that. We can make this game fun.
And the overall impetus behind this game was to find a way to teach environmental sciences. Based on the original Power Up, it was a great game, but there were a lot of things that could be better. My role as the instructional designer and the educational game design professor here was to see to it, okay, yeah, well, good game design, but let's also, how are we teaching? What are we teaching and how are we teaching it? That's a question that has been posed to all the student designers.
Right now what we're trying to do as a team is not only change the information we're delivering, but we're trying to add that element of fun.
Some of the ways we want to add fun to this game is we want to add tension, we want to add strategy, we want to add competition. Big time we want to add competition. We want players to come back. We want players to invite friends. There's got to be a reason for people to keep coming back to the game. We do want to add an element of danger to give the player a sense of them struggling and success. That's what drives a player to play a game. Success. Players will come back if they feel like they're succeeding.
Every time you do a mission, you're learning about solar panels or wind production. And this is the type of stuff that you can just slip in.
We haven't really committed to renewable energy yet, but we certainly see the problems with fossil fuel. So we've kind of anthropomorphized the fossil fuel industry into these mech insect enemies. But we want people to be able to play their homework assignment to the point like they play Warcraft or Halo or Mass Effect, where they just don't want to stop.
When it comes to the missions, so far we've been focusing on trying to sneak in as many educational elements as possible. Basically, don't have a mission just for the sake of having a mission. Our story is going to be the educational process. You don't want to just create a textbook mission where they go in, they're reading, and then when they go to point B, they're taking a test. You want to hide the test.
The type of people who want to play this game are the type of people who want to play any game. Currently the market is 18 to 34, but we're aiming at a little low. We're aiming about high school, maybe a little bit later than that. In Power Up, there are a number of real-world analogs. Stuff like the solar-powered technician's tool belt. I mean, let's just say we have a company that puts out a new tool, a new style of light meter. We can toss that in the game. Along that same vein for marketing, there's product placement. We have all this wonderful technology that needs a venue to be advertised. This is a great opportunity for getting sponsors for the game.
I like the layout, how it's a giant dam. Right now we're trying to make it far more interactive, where you can repair the grading on the bottom of the intake, which is where the water flow begins, how much water flow, and it controls everything for a dam. We're trying to make enemies that pretty much reside in the water itself and cause damage to that, to a level where you have to constantly go in, destroy enemies, gain metal, other elements, and repair it.
Well, one NPC might tell you to go to, solar panel farm Bravo to go make sure that everything's up to par. You go over there, and the NPC then tells you some things you need to check, be it the solar tracking arrays, make sure that the servos are lubed and everything so they actually track the sun, or clean off the solar panels themselves. The slightest amount of dirt on a solar panel will make it less efficient, and that is hopefully what the player will learn when they go in and do these missions and get a small amount of energy for doing each of these things.
For the wind level, one of the major things you need to look at is where you put your wind turbines, because you can put it on a nice windy spot, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to get that energy all the way back to the transformers and the transformers off into the grid. After you get the initial quest and you get towards the actual building side, because there'll be a collection side of the quest where you collect pieces, and there'll be the assembly side where you decide where you want to place your wind turbine. It's not just going to be on the top of a mountain, because that might be a windy spot, but getting in between two mountains is going to be even better, because it's going to be directing all of that wind power down to a central spot. Another thing is they're going to learn by trial and error where the best spot is. So another way to help them out is to put the different enemies or different concentrations of enemies and the different makeups of enemies around the different spots.